computers talking with each other to sharpen their wits, which I feel like we do, and it works pretty well for us, but computers, they don't really do that. They just send packets around. So there's my proposal for them. And if I get that, that would be great. If I don't get that, then probably something else in some other computer science department.
So are you talking about what they're calling big data?
It's, yeah. So I'd like to use have computer programs that read things like Stack Exchange. That, you know, there's often many bots that edit Wikipedia. In fact, there's more bots that edit Wikipedia on an edit per edit basis than humans these days. So the question is not how could we make a bot that edits Wikipedia, but how can we make a bot that does something useful or more useful than the current generations?
Do you know Danah Boyd's work?
I do a little bit. Yeah, I know Danah Boyd's work a little bit, but I don't know Danah Boyd.
Well, she's got this kind of, I really don't know how to describe it, but it's a part of Microsoft Research.
Yeah.
In New York City, I believe, that's got a new program on big data.
Yeah.
And social stuff.
Yeah, I've heard of it, but I've forgotten the name. You're right. That, for New York, that would be fantastic. I should look that one up. And I'm going to have to ask you guys to excuse me.
Be sure to mention my name.
Yeah, mention you. Okay, it's a good thing. Maybe I'll just try to get in touch with her directly and do that at some point. And just say, hey, I'm looking around for a job. This is the kind of thing I put in at the Turing Institute. Is this or anything else related to other topics? Peeragogy, I could give her a selection. I might well do that. But you guys are going to have to excuse me because I'm boiling tea, so I'll be back in a second.
Tea.
So what's happening with y'all?
Well, we're about to put the new cover together and upload the Peeragogy version 3 to the Lightning source and the print on demand. And you got your copies, right?
I did. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And we can furnish more. We're also putting together an Indiegogo campaign to finance some of the printing because it kind of has to be paid up in advance for 200 copies. So we're doing that, and we're working to we're scheduling discussions on version 4 and where we want to fork the handbook from here and maybe make it more accessible, get some really good quality feedback, and maybe take it out into a few different publications. But we did a wonderful. I don't know if you've read the pattern catalog that we put together, Howard.
You mean, well, I know that there's patterns in the edition, the latest edition.
Yeah, we extracted those and made workshopped a paper on them for the Pattern Language of Programs conference, and by the Hillside Group it is called. And so it was just a great exercise, just getting feedback from them, going through the workshop, and refining and looking at almost each word and what it meant and how it could be applied. It was kind of an Alexander inspired pattern language conference.
Well, I applaud your diligence on continuing to improve this. Just before I have to run, a couple of other words for Joe. Joe, do you know who Sonia Livingston is?
No, Sonia Livingston. Here's the thing. I want to briefly show you. We're looking at our uses of pronouns in the paper. So this is the idea of the kind of level of wordsmithing, and of course, it's all going right back into the book as well. But it's definitely improved so much from the first version, and we've also got this amazing urinal in there. So it's really got everything, including the kitchen sink. If your kitchen sink looks like that. But no, sorry, I'll stop screen sharing.
That's reduce, reuse, recycle, right?
think she's the chair of the sociology department at London School of Economics.
Sonia
Livingston.
Livingston.
And she's written some great books about children and the internet and what's really going on. Anyway, I know her as well. You might see if she has anything that might be of interest. And I have another friend who's a professor, and I can't recall exactly where in, maybe it's Bath. His name is Andrew Hugel. If you were to write me a short paragraph, I could send it to Andrew. Andrew is a member of the College of Pataphysics.
okay.
So he's a fun guy as well as a, you know, a legitimate scholar.
Nice.
So when are you going to come back to the group?
I think so. My main plan is to come back when I get a job, so that this is really a specific, focused project, like our pattern. A specific project is to get a job, and there's another tentative pattern in there called "Don't Quit Your Day Job." As I've explained to people before, don't quit your day job because peeragogy doesn't always pay the bills. Maybe sometimes it will. That's something worth talking about. But if you don't have one, or if you are worried that yours is going to end, also find another one. So that's the thing I'm going to focus on. So I'll be back once I know that, and I'm hoping. These are amazing leads. Thank you so much. I'll certainly copy them down and follow them up. But I'm hoping in one way or another to be doing peeragogy and getting paid for it. Like in that geek code, we need a geek code of peeragogy. So we'll see. I'll let you guys know.
Yeah. Good luck.
Well,
it's time for someone to have a peeragogy position. What about City University of New York? You know, Kathy Davidson is the dean there of like 30 different campuses.
I didn't know that. Is that a new thing for her? Because I thought she was further south.
Yes, she was at Duke for many years. So she's also a friend, and she knows about peeragogy. And if you were to, again, write me a short paragraph, I would forward it to her.
Thank you, Howard.
Okay, I got to go. Have a good party. Nice to see your faces.
Very nice to see
I'll be back. I promise I'll be back.
Okay. Well.
Anytime.
Okay. All right. Wow. Well, thank you for all that, Howard. And
Oops. Yeah. Oh, you brought somebody started it. Great.
yeah. So wow, this is awesome. This is like a intro to peeragogy Joe style. So.
This is what I was talking about. We can peeragogy your job.
Yeah.
I mean, all we need to do is kind of get together and brainstorm it and give you leads and, you know, be out there looking like little, like, you know, sort of salmon swimming up the stream or.
I wouldn't mind if the jobs, if someone actually came to me through a connection, whatever, and said, "Hey Joe, would you like a job?" That would be the day. Back in 2008, I was living next door to you, Charlotte, practically, and by Green Pond or whatever, Clean Pond. What's that thing called?
Fresh Pond.
Fresh Pond. Ask Karen if it's changed its name to Green Pond yet. Anyway, it was. Where is Karen? She dropped away.
I don't know. I have this new computer, and she asked me if she needed to log off my. I don't know. She's probably logging onto her own account.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. So, what was I asking? Oh yeah, Green Pond. Clean Pond. Clear Pond. Fresh
it's
Pond.
Relatively clean.
Relatively clean. Cleaner now than it used to be. But
well,
anyway.
There's a reservoir. So, every time I turn on the hot water or the water tap and drink from it, I think this is just absolutely amazing that, you know, large metropolitan areas can have clean water coming through pipes to your house.
It's a modern convenience, a major
that doesn't kill you, you know.
It's not tainted with lead. Yeah, for lots of years they were just doing it with lead. It was a completely erroneous move, but they've switched.
Right, but and it just involves a huge amount of trust, you know.
Yeah, but it's related probably to the job scene. And so back then in 2008, I applied to 50 jobs in the Boston area. I got 0, and then I applied for one PhD program in England. Plus, they were offering to pay. I got that, and so the decision was pretty obvious at that point. The decision now is less obvious, but yeah, no one's yet coming. They don't have a job tap that I can tap into.
Well, what is the understandable elevator speech for your job?
Well, that's a hard question. I asked Laura, and Laura sent me an email a while ago pointing me something. I haven't replied yet, Laura, about an education something. Do you remember that? Can I defer to
Yeah,
Laura about
I'm
what
on
that
different lists, and they sometimes send me these things, and I thought, oh no, I hope it's not offensive, because there were, they'll say like there's an education specialist in something, and it's for university people, and I just thought I'll forward it on. I don't know if it's useful.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you. It's going into the file with lots of other things, the inbox file, unfortunately, so it hasn't gotten further from inbox. But
well, do you want recommendations and stuff?
Recommendations? No. I mean, I put as my referees, I put my PhD supervisor, I put my current boss, and I put someone I know who's like a CBE or something. That ought to do it. She's
so
not.
It's computer what? Like.
Huh?
What are the
Howard.
5
Yes,
words?
I should. For anything in education, I should definitely include Howard. That's true. Yes?
So what are the 5 words that I would say? Joe's looking for a job as a...
I would say in a computing department, but indeed, yeah, if you mention all the other things I've done, it's like all the keywords in our papers, peer production, peer learning. I mean, I'm a bit weird as a computer scientist. A, my background's not in computer science. That much is pretty weird. B, it's in mathematics. Okay, that's a little bit normal. C, I've done all of this other social media stuff with you guys, so my background is the same as you guys, except for I'm working in a computer science department, which is fine. So, I don't know. You have a computer science department down there at Monterey, maybe I should apply there, and we could work much more closely together.
What about places that have digital literacy sort of programs, as opposed to just computer science?
If there was one that valued the fact, so that's the other thing is I don't just have a degree in computer science. I have a degree in knowledge media. What's that? It's at the nexus of computer science, cognitive science, and library science. So it's people learning with books and stuff, I think, as far as I understand, maybe even DVDs and online. But yeah, something about digital media literacy would work well. Perhaps just imagining that woman at LSE is saying we're looking to start up a new digital literacy thing because all of the economists coming in don't know anything about how to use social media or something. I'd say, well, look, I don't know a whole lot about social media either, but hey, I have a degree in computer science. You can get them I can help them with their computer questions. So yeah, it might be. Karen, welcome back. We were talking about you wanted to know if the place had changed its name to Green Pond or if it was still called Clean Pond.
Which one?
Fresh Pond.
Oh, well, it's like semi-polluted pond, but really it's quite fresh. I haven't drank the water because there's a big fence around it.
Nothing but just completely fresh. I had bottled it up when I was there, and I'm still drinking off of the same tank, actually. It cost a lot to bring it over in my luggage, but...
You cart fresh pond water over in your luggage. I am impressed. Geez, you mathematicians get up to the funniest stuff.
If I was there, I would drink it, but I have to drink a poor approximation, which is just our normal tap water here. So.
Yeah. Fresh pond used to be, I think it was Fresh Pond and Walden Pond. They were used for ice in the winter. There was like a railroad track. I can't remember how it went, but it was put on. The ice was put onto the trains and then brought to various parts around New England.
Nice ice.
Nice ice, yeah.
Well, that's probably why it was called Fresh Pond. Really good branding. It's like, no, this ice came from Fresh Pond. It didn't get from Green Pond. That was
or White Pond. No.
Yeah, well, ice might be.
Yesterday I was at Flint Pond by DeCordova, and there's this really beautiful like rain over. It's all black ice now on the ponds here. It's like a foot above the pond. It was this really cool. You could see it sweeping back and forth. It was really nice. I'm going to try to do something very peeragogical.
Go ahead.
By the way, I just reread like that cool article on MathWorks in the Peeragogy guide, and it was second reading. It was great. I really liked it. And the suggestion I think it was Doug came up with to teach mathematics through the history of mathematics through doing equations. I don't know. Those kind
Yeah,
of like,
and make it a game. Yes, you want it to also be a
yeah.
game, like kind of like Civilization or something from a math point of view.
Yeah, that's a cool idea. Okay, I'm gonna right now try to. A friend of mine wants to join, and I'm gonna try to make sure that he can. I don't know exactly. I have two friends who wanted to join, and I just kind of like saw them briefly, but I don't know where they are now.
Okay.
So I'm gonna
Copy the link, and then
Yeah. Okay.
and
Cool.
just
Thanks.
all they should have to do is click on that.
All right.
Yeah. Nice work.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna see if I can do this. I still have a lot to do. I can't seem to copy it, but I'll work on it. It doesn't want to copy.
Well, start up above it and then drag. Oh, I see. Yeah, you're on that trackball,
I'm on what?
the trackpad thing.
Oh yeah. Does that make a difference?
No, I don't. I mean, it's a different operation to copy.
Okay. All right.
If you click up in the text above, and then it won't. Or yeah, I mean, you can just click up in the address bar.
Oh, yeah. Smart move. Yeah. You
But
are
that's
a thinker,
that's
Charlotte.
a slightly different link, isn't it?
No.
That one actually works these days.
Yeah, it should work.
Okay. I'm going to disappear into my Gmail account to see if I can send them an email with this. I'll be right back.
All right, and we yesterday I sort of billed this as the adaptive roadmaps article, or I mean session, because Joe and I were talking yesterday about the question that our shepherd had about who the audience was, and Joe, am I getting this right?
Go on. So far,
What the whether a roadmap is really useful if it's if it's not adaptable, or you could put that another way. If it would be useful if it's adaptable and still remains a roadmap.
So I think it's more so than that, because I think we're saying the roadmap is adaptable. We're saying that, but what he was saying to us was like actually having the ability to adapt it is quite a high level of sophistication. So if I know Karen's.
Yeah, that's right.
So we've got two other teachers to confer with. So like actually I was just thinking about this in the music context. I'd like to ask you about that. Like if you play by rote, like bam 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 bam, you turn yourself into like a player piano, for example, and you just play every note as written. It maybe doesn't sound very good, and you want the reason there's music teachers, they try to teach you how to do some expression and breathing and think about what you're playing and voicing and all this stuff. I don't know if that's how you teach, but my piano teacher tried to instill that sort of thing into me. I don't know if it worked. I still have trouble breathing. But then, so there becomes kind of like a creativity to performance. And I just got this book from a friend of mine who plays, oh, you can't see it because I'm screen sharing. I'll stop screen sharing in just a second and give you this link. Paste. There's the link. Anyway, that's the thing I'm screen sharing in case anyone wants to hop on there. You need to get in with a Google account or something similar. But I can also re-screen share it. So what I was saying is like there's a certain kind of Cheryl Davis.
Hi,
Cheryl. I drag everybody from my publishing life into Peeragogy. So.
Perfect.
Okay, someone's echoing though.
Yeah.
Cheryl, you aren't echoing. You're talking. Where are you calling in from? Boston.
I'm in Garfield, which is near Austin, Texas.
Austin, not Boston. I used to live in Austin, so that and I lived in Boston, so I had many difficulties communicating. So Garfield, Texas.
Yeah, we're in between
Charlotte. Yeah,
Well,
Charlotte.
you know how Cheryl knows me is through Charlie's visit to what was the?
It was open source, Open Ed Jam, the Open Education Jam in San Antonio.
Cool. Well,
And
welcome
she's
to our
publishing a
Hangout.
children's book, and Cheryl is also a permaculture consultant.
Oh, Oh, I think I've heard incredibly good things about you from Charlotte, who is really impressed with all the different things you do. So.
Oh, wow, thank you. Very cool.
Well, do you know everyone else here?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, everyone, I'm Joe. So hi, I'm Joe. I'm currently in England. That's why it's a bit dark here. And other people can introduce themselves. So.
All right.
Karen. You know Cheryl. Oh, Karen's got muted. Laura's muted, and Paula's muted.
I'm Laura, and I'm in England as well. And the hat is because Charlotte made it, and it's lovely, and it's freezing.
Oh,
I do music at a university.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Cheryl, I think you're probably going to get a headband or something because it's too hot in Austin most of the time for.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of chilly outside right now, but it's warming up. We have a fire going out in the backyard.
Wow.
Keep it outside, otherwise it gets too hot inside.
Yes. A little toasty in here this morning. So I'm sorry, I'm a little behind technologically, but I'm on my phone, and so I don't know if I'm coming through all right, or if there's some echo from me, or.
Works really well. Charlie, who you know, is often calling in from a phone in Starbucks, which is sometimes a little bit noisy. But even that works. So imagine you were in Starbucks. This is like.
Yeah, that's 10 times better.
Okay.
And Paula, are you?
Yeah, Paula.
Hi, I'm Paola. I'm in Mexico.
Hello.
Hi.
So you guys are like neighbors, pretty much.
Yeah. Hop on over.
I think they breathe the same air in Mexico, don't they?
I'll put the coffee.
I'm not sure.
Maybe Karen will introduce herself, or maybe not, but she's trying to bring in other people into the call as well, so...
yeah, from Spain.
Challenging. So she's muted as well.
Back to that music thing. Can I ask a question, Joe, while you're still there?
Go ahead, I'm not even sure if I asked my question, but please ask yours. I'll just...
Okay, no, I think you're right, and it's having a roadmap that's adaptable is useful. And I wasn't in on the Sunday things because it's a tricky time for me. But asking who your audience is, the more I think about it, I think yes, you'll find educators who are the audience, but you'll find a really rich vein of people who aren't in education, who are in other, businesses and other disciplines who don't know about peeragogy. And I think having it be adaptable for them is going to be really valuable. And having people, like all the people on this call, who are used to using it, be there as the mentors or mentees or whatever you want to call it. You know how you said if there was an accelerator program, you would have X number of sessions with someone, or could, then I think that would be the how we suit it to you kind of thing. Maybe. But you're right about the idea of there are certain bare bones with anything you do, but then it's like doing a play is more than the words on the page. You have to learn how to act. You have to learn how to enact.
Yeah.
And then it comes alive.
So that my question though was going to be, I love is that Aristotle back there? Sorry.
Oh, yeah. It's Homer.
Homer, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the question was like learning how to do that expressive performance. Is learning how to compose then like the next step from that, like the advanced black belt of performance, or is it really a completely different discipline, or is there sort of it's not a unilateral, there's kind of a gray area in between, or would you think about it in a completely different way from what I've proposed about?
I think it's a different language. It's a different. It's how in sort of higher maths, and I don't understand that kind of stuff, but equations are more than numbers, and they're sort of entities that represent more things. It's like if you only have words, it's different than you can explain. I can hold this cup, but if I start to explain the way the matter works and the light, and it's a whole nother is another dimension of it. So composing is like when you perform, you're composing through the expression of the way you communicate to somebody else. But if you're composing a piece, it might be that you're choosing the words. So when I perform, I don't necessarily always choose the words I use, but I choose the inflection and shape them. But somebody else might choose the words, but leave the inflection to the person behind the instrument. I don't know if that really helps.
It makes sense. And some people, of course, like Shakespeare, worked in the theater, right? So he didn't just write his plays in some atelier, but he like put on the plays. I don't know if he acted in them. Probably he did. Kenneth Branagh, you know, wishes he was Shakespeare, and he acts in them and puts them on. So, you know, Tarantino does a little bit of narration from behind the camera sometimes, you know, and acts. So yeah, people kind of cross-train, but I can imagine that there are different skills, and I wonder what the corresponding relationship maybe is for us. And getting back to that adaptive roadmap, if someone gets the Peeragogy Handbook, I don't know where my copy is. Someone should wave a copy of it around. Like they get one of these and they say, "Here it is. Now I have it. I can swap files with it. Yay!" Or I can, you know, give it to my students and make them read it, or whatever people do with it. It's supposed to tell them what to do, and it's a bit like a score, right? Maybe a very aleatoric score. Jump in any place where you want. Do this, do that. We don't care. Yes, there it is. Oh, cool. You could have one of these, viewers at home. Look at that beautiful typesetting and that paper. Oh my God, the paper itself is just so nice. They use some nice paper over at ACE. You got to hand them that, Charlotte. At least they use nice paper. So what was I saying? So it's a very aleatoric score, but part of the instructions is like compose your own piece, write your own essay. You too could be an author. You can join in the choir, but we're not going to tell you what to sing, something like that. So I don't know. Oh wow, beautiful. That's nice.
That sounds like it's begging for an introduction, to be an introduction to a section in the next version. Really, it's what next? Where do I fit in? How do you do it?
Well, so Cheryl is really new. Maybe we should ask her how from what maybe you've learned about peeragogy in this discussion, or from Charlotte, or from Charlie. Like, you're brand new. How could we conceivably be helpful for you, or could we make the thing interesting for you?
Well, I'm sort of getting my initial dose of peeragogy at the moment, and so I haven't really established a well-formulated opinion yet. My time is very little and claimed by my children mostly, so I have few precious moments to myself to experiment with things like this. So I'm really just kind of observing at the moment, and if I feel like I have some valuable input, then I will definitely speak up.
So what in your life do you suspect could be enhanced or improved by peeragogy? Or, you know, maybe not know the answer to that, but is there something that you're looking for in your work that you need a group of people to sort of weigh in on?
Yes, I'm always looking for ways to push myself out of my comfort zone. And my comfort zone is in the mechanical world. I do a lot of gardening, hands-on projects, working on cars, things like that, and I definitely feel a deficit with my technological skills, and so I'm definitely very uncomfortable. You're lovely people, but this is you know, I had trouble getting on the computer, and I had trouble with the plugin, and I don't really, you know, understand a whole lot about navigating these software systems, and so that's one of the reasons why I'm here, because if I make myself do this, then I'll get more accustomed to it, and my goal is that it becomes second nature, and that I can springboard myself from my new skills into, you know, even more.
Just so you know, you don't come across as someone with a deficit in technology. Like, it works pretty well, I think. And Karen, you've said the same thing. Karen's like the second newest person, and Karen is now getting a dose of like what she sounded like 2 or 3 months ago. Remember? And you still sometimes say that, but at this point, it's no longer really justified to say, oh, I'm too new, because now there's someone newer than you.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
funny.
maybe somebody else will join, and then I'll be, a rung up the ladder.
Yeah.
I think I was just chatting in sidebar that both Karen and Cheryl have a lack of fear of stepping into things that they aren't familiar with.
Not always the smartest thing to do.
Yeah, but have you been died as a result? No.
No, I'm alive. I'm alive. This goes. I'm trying right now. It's funny because 3 of my friends are trying to get on, and I can't figure out how to access them. I am, Cheryl. I was completely new before, and now I can get onto this myself. I'm a big girl now.
Yeah.
Thanks for Charlotte's ongoing encouragement. But right now, I kind of saw that 2 friends were interested or trying to get on or something, and I'm still kind of I love watching Joe and Charlotte do these things because especially sitting next to Charlotte, it's what button was that?
Yeah, exactly. I would love to be able to just watch over your shoulder for a day and kind of get you.
Yep, I'm really lucky to be able to sit next to Charlotte all the time and say, holy cow, oh my gosh, can you do that 17 more times so that I can remember how you did that?
Repetition, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just different ways. I mean, you might read something about it, you might go on a help file, watch a video, come to a session, and do all that stuff again. And I think both of you you're mindful of when things kind of make sense together, when 2 bits of information contribute to make sense or join together to make sense.
I just wanted to say to Karen about the people, if you have their email addresses, you could just paste their email addresses in or email me their email addresses, and then perhaps or one of us else could jump in if they want to get into this call. You better help them out soon, otherwise.
I found a short URL, Karen. You can probably type it into a text.
Yeah, there's a short URL. That's a good call.
Okay, I've just sent 2 of them an email, and one said, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, well, so it may be challenging on their side as well. So
yeah,
short URL is a great idea.
Yeah, and the other hasn't responded. So and then I'm trying to find the third. So we'll see. It's just it's so nice to do this with you guys here, kind of. So that I can do this for me is peeragogy. So I can say, oh my gosh, I'm on this computer. Charlotte's new computer is gorgeous. Yeah. So I'm on this computer right now, and I'm trying to do this, and I don't know what I'm doing, and it's just so much more helpful for me to try to figure. It's like I'm building something out of clay, and I've never done it before, and I can say to you guys, okay, now what do I do? And you both say, oh, I see what you're doing, and it's just such a great way to learn how to move around sites like Google+. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Do you want to copy me on those emails, and I can send them at least, for the next session, I could send it.
Okay. Well, I mean, the thing that's concerning me is when I was trying to, right now I'm in this conversation with my friend Barbara, right? And I invited a whole bunch of people because I knew that it might be Joe's last time, and I was going to make little internet signs, demonstration signs that said, no, Joe, don't go. And
go.
I put them down and waved them and stuff, but I just got really busy and waylaid, so I didn't do that. But
it's okay.
But that is the sentiment. But today, as I was signing on, I saw the images of 3 people who I know who I invited, and I'm in this conversation with one of them right now, and she's like, where did you see my picture? What are you talking about, Karen?
Yeah.
It might have been just because I invited them, but then there's this other woman, Ruth Good, who's really cool. And I saw on the link to the to this program. So for example, right now I'm looking at Peeragogy Project, and there's that photograph of Joe in his fantastic hat there he's wearing today. For today, and at the top it said it says Ruth Good and 2 others, activity Peeragogy Project event. And Ruth Good is a really, really brilliant woman who I know she would love this, and she works now. I met her as she was another teacher trainer working for the International House when I was there in Barcelona. And she's just brilliant. She's involved in SIT and a lot of kind of language teaching things.
What's her email address? Or would it be confusing to her too?
Yeah, well, see, I don't want to confuse her. That's the thing.
No. But
can I suggest something?
Karen,
Yeah.
can I ask you a real quick request? If you go on the Hangout window and you mouse over the left, you'll see a green button that looks like a monitor, and it says screen share. If you click that, then we'll have the chance to see what you see, and then we can tell you, oh, well, yeah, here you go.
Oh, cool! That was a serious peeragogy moment. Oh my God. Okay, let's see if I can do this. No,
I think Cheryl's outside now.
Yeah. She's doing, like, it's not quite screen sharing, it's scene sharing.
Scene sharing. Yes.
So I want to suggest, if for Karen and Cheryl and these other people who can't quite join yet, it might be a useful thing. Earlier, Charlotte was saying, well, other topics for future weeks. It might be that Peeragogy Introduction, the live tutorial, might be a good session, and that way. It's because peeragogy, like hearing Cheryl talk and Charlotte's question, it doesn't have to be technological peeragogy, but this is a means to get people, to allow people across the world to connect and like-minded people to talk about things, or people who are interested in this to talk to each other at the same time.
And there's a sorry, am I interrupting? Because I don't want to.
No, it's okay.
Okay, I thought I was continuing, but I felt like maybe I was interrupting. So the thing I wanted to continue is, like, there's a whole other question there about access. So across the world, yes, but as a good challenge for us would be to make good on that promise. So, like, supposing someone wants to call in with a phone, we've talked about that before. I don't mean the phone like Cheryl has, but like, a landline, like a rotary dial phone. Can it work, or is that impossible? So it's a challenge to solve that kind of problem for us. That was one question, one continuation. Sorry, I think that's enough. I'll stop there.
But also, if it was a live tutorial, then I mean, there's usually on these things, because at least half of the people have done it before and are quite familiar with it. There isn't a complete walkthrough of on your keyboard. There's this button, and on the left sidebar there's this, and that might be really useful to go step by step through that for people. Or how is it different if you're on a phone, or what are the good advice things? How do you do a Hangout?
Yes, absolutely.
Because then it wouldn't be a barrier.
It would definitely make it more inclusive.
Totally good call. Yeah, I agree with you. And some people, that's the other thing about teaching people, that it's not just about technology. So I sent my mom a copy of the book. So maybe sometime while I'm on hiatus, you guys will get my mom instead of me coming on, because she got very excited about it. She's like, I signed up for the Peeragogy mailing list, but then I forgot my email password, and I was like, okay, well, I'll try to help you with your password, but you have to make your own decisions about Peeragogy. I'm not trying to, like, tell you you've got to do it. I'm not telling you not to do it. You do what you want. So you guys might get my mom, but like, so I've taught her how to use Skype, and she really likes using Skype. So if this was a call on Skype, I think she'd be like, oh yeah, that's easy. I know how to use Skype, and probably a bunch of other people are similar. Skype is more familiar to them. So.
Yeah, the GUG had gotten us going on protocols a while ago, and we have a few files on Google Drive, which if you can't get on them, just request access. But it's in its infancy, but we have a Hangouts on Air and Accelerator, and these are linked to the GitHub, where everything kind of dovetails into it.
Yeah, they're more linked from, well, maybe they're linked to it, but they're
from GitHub. Yeah, I mean, all right.
I think this whole protocol thing we need a version 0.2 of that.
But it would be nice if people went on those protocols and just made even just comments like this. How do I actually I need to install a plugin or something. Yeah. That kind of stuff.
I think sometimes those files can be in complicated language. A little bit. I think really so. Simple. Really simple.
Yeah, sentence. So take the title and say this, this is way too complicated.
Yeah. You can save those comments you're making, Cheryl. Those are good comments to save. So I think the one other thing I wanted to show here, which Charlie made, but I don't know if anyone's ever used it, which I'm screen sharing now, is this little how to contribute micro quick start guide. So a couple weeks ago it said how to contribute, read the longer quick start guide, but here there's like 5 things which you really can do with like one click. And like you go here, you create your GitHub account, and Karen, even if you haven't done that yet, it's really easy.
Okay, wait. Yeah.
Then you go here to this one, and then bam, you're in like a live conversation with us. And I think it should maybe say here like join our public rooms in Gitter for a live or almost live conversation with members of the project. But like, you know, so if you're stuck, you literally have like 2 or 3 clicks away from getting live help. But that's not obvious. But it is really great, right? That people have that. And then
how about putting that in the peeragogy.org? Just say live help.
Yeah, it should say live help.
Yeah.
And I think it will shortly. But I mentioned this in the paper because from a research standpoint, we can then look what are people asking about? Where do they click first? And so like as a kind of lean startup-y kind of thinking thing, like if they go into this thing and they ask for live help, here's another thing. I'll do this. Let's see if it works. Oh, yeah. Looking good, except for it's not going to let me because it's going to need me to sign in. Oh, I am signed in. Awesome.
But with live help, are people wanting to contribute on Gitter and GitHub and write things, or are they just interested in what is peeragogy and how can it help me? Because I think those are 2 different things, which goes back to what's your audience. Mm-hmm. And if the audience is a working group, which it could be, that's a different audience to an audience who wants to use it, apply it in their lives. And you could have both things, but you might not.
So my sense is that most people want to apply it. Like I think our audience, Paola has been in touch with them like in workshops, like as an audience, like I'm coming to your workshop, this is interesting, how do I use it? But they want to apply it. They don't want to apply it in the workshop, they want to learn it in the workshop, but then it seems like they want to go home and apply it with their students or their communities, with somebody. So maybe they don't care about applying it with us. Like someone came along, I don't think she's any longer interested, so I'll just say, like, if she comes back, I'm not giving away her identity. She wanted to remain very quiet, but she taught me about something called peer rope, which is awesome. It's where you go to learn how to do rope bondage from your peers. Really cool. And she was really interested in the Peeragogy Handbook, but she was very shy to join our Hangouts and explain this thing because like it'd be part of like the fetish community, and she was afraid that people would judge her even if it was a pseudonym. And besides, there were all these amazingly interesting politics about that because like the kind of art she does is like a Japanese art form, and like there's Japanese art masters, and the fact that she's doing it in a peer-to-peer learning framework is very contentious, aside from anything else that people are projecting onto what she does. So she ended up not joining me. If she ever comes back, her pseudonym on Google Plus is Rope Bunny, and I was very impressed with her because she was like so excited and so interested. But she said to me right away, I'm not interested. The first thing she said is, I'm not interested in contributing to the Peeragogy project. Like, however, I'm very interested in your book, and I'm very interested in applying this stuff with my community. So we had a lot of chats like, how could she do that? And like, you know, there's a peer rope is a big thing, and like there's a location in London. I was like, I could go to peer rope. I'll get tied up for peeragogy. I don't care. But that didn't happen. So I don't know.
There's a few of those in Austin too.
So I mean, I thought it would be great because I thought it'd make like really flashy, awesome art for our cover or even the inside of the book, something a nice photo section. But she didn't join, so we might have to recruit someone else from Pure Rope if we want that case study. But that's the other thing is like, yeah, we are a kind of specialist group, like people who want to research it rather than do it, I guess.
I think both, not just research.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely do it. We research kind of practitioners, as they say, I guess.
Oh, shoot. I'm trying to send on Google Plus a message to my friend Martin, who would be great at doing this sort of stuff. He's in Barcelona right now, and I thought I sent a message just to him, but it ended up getting posted on my wall. So apparently I didn't.
Just send him an email.
I did. I'm just trying to figure out how to use it.
I think people on Facebook probably will generally not be on Google Plus, so.
No, this is Google Plus that I'm using. It's not Facebook.
Wow.
I just don't know how to. I'll figure out later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get you the link for next week's, Karen, and we can work on it when we're not in a pressure cooker.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I think that these folks I wanted to also tell you, Karen, about the English learning stuff. I'll probably email you about that because I was thinking I told you my aunt is also an English teacher in the same sector, ESL, EFL kind of stuff.
Oh, cool. Where is she?
Well, she's currently in either Sri Lanka or Singapore, but
oh wow, great.
She's moving from Sri Lanka to Singapore, I think. But yeah, I was gonna like pick her brain about this issue of teaching English to computers, which I've realized is kind of what I want to do for my job. So I was thinking your skills and her skills and your friend's skills as a English teachers. Do you ever work with computer scientists and like, because like natural language understanding is a big thing, and yet if your skills aren't being used, that's a major missed trick in the kind of research world.
Right.
It'd be like teaching
cool
composition
or
something.
That sounds like fascinating. It's really fascinating because it's like one of these. I have no idea what that is. Teaching English to a computer, but I love tennis slalom, and so it's kind of like it's a little Lennish for me, and it sounds great. Yeah, I'd love to. I'm kind of thinking like. Show me the way. Like you can probably see what skills I have, which can contribute to a project like that more than I can because I don't understand the project.
I'll send you something I'm writing once it's a little bit more than half baked, and then ask you can you imagine yourself jumping in here or critiquing it so you can give a critique of that maybe, or send it around to your circle of friends, all these folks.
All right. Yeah. No, I'd love to do that. I mean, it's great, and I mean, as I said before, I'm kind of like getting my feet back on the ground here after a few years, and you and Charlotte have just been such a help. Charlotte, thank you.
You bet.
I can try this. Oh no, I can't try that. Oh my God, that's too difficult. No, you can do it. No, Charlotte. Oh, I'm going away. And then I do it. And she says,
I just need a coach to sort of keep me on track, I think.
What?
I need a coach to keep me on track.
Oh, you're my coach.
You have a new intern. You have a new intern. So
that's right. Yeah.
Peer support with your intern.
Right.
But yeah, I think maybe the message for people who have like a kind of slight techno fear, like probably what I said to you was very scary, but what I want to tell you is like the non-scary aspect of that is really I'm just asking you to be you, and I'll be me, and then you tell me about stuff you know about, which I know nothing about. I've never taught English to anybody. I don't know how to do that. You have. And I'm realizing that's something I'd like to be able to do. That somebody I have in mind is not a person, but it's a computer. But
I have a friend who's attempting to teach law to a computer.
Pardon?
I have a friend who is he's attempting to teach law to a computer. He went to law school, and now he's trying to write some sort of computer program where you can tell it your legal problems, and it will give you legal advice.
Cool.
Nice.
Wow, that's
It'll probably say, "I'm not a lawyer. I'm a computer." So.
Yeah. Disclaimer.
So, Joe, how exactly are you thinking of teaching a computer English? Like what?
So well, as a warm-up exercise, I would teach it sort of this. I would try to, as a warm-up exercise, you got to start someplace. So starting someplace in the middle would be like humans. Often could buy this book called 642 Things to Write About, which I bought for a friend of mine for Christmas.
I saw that.
You have that book.
I saw it. I don't know if I bought it. It looked like fun.
Yeah, it's in a lot of bookstores. So I bought it for a friend for Christmas, and after that I was like, why don't I take these little prompts and program them into the computer and like see if the computer can digest them and spit out something that makes some sense. So like the first prompt is, what can happen in a second, right? Say what can happen in a second. And like if you asked all of us, we'd each one come up with a different answer. And if you asked again, each one would come up with yet again a different answer, right? So there's no right answer to that question.
Right.
Because if the computer said like a bookcase, or it said a lamp or something, that would probably not be a dead wrong answer, but you might, as a teacher, you might say, well, why did you say that? Why are you saying bookcase can happen in a second? And if it said, I don't know, then you say, look, you're having an off day. You go home, get some rest, like come back when you're feeling a little bit better. But you could work through kinds of things like that, I thought. So but basically the question is, can you understand simple things? Because people can get the computer to generate any kind of crap, but understanding is harder. So I think that the friend teaching law, that's an interesting person I'd love to be in touch with.
Are you teaching it patterns with like grammatical patterns, like this is a noun, this is a list of noun, this is a list of verbs, in which order to place them first?
That's going to be, so I think yes, I think that would be something to get it to do. Like that's one of the things I think it can do. So you could just give it some text and say, oh wow, I don't know anything about this text, but there's so many nouns in it. Like, just this is amazing, 87% nouns. Or what is the verb? Find the verb in the sentence. It can do that. So I think that's like your way in. Those are like the knitting stitches in Charlotte's terminology, I guess. Those are like your stitches. But the bigger scale pattern, how do you put them together to like get something that's meaningful, like tell a story that's bigger than just a sentence or whatever? I think people have done stuff with that. So yeah, I've heard of Eliza. There's another one called Student. So there's a bunch of stuff from like the 70s and stuff.
I find the Siri and Alexa programs to be very interesting. Like, how many different questions can I ask Siri before I stump her?
Have you asked her that?
No, I haven't. I haven't asked her that. Yeah. It's very
I
fun.
just thought of the Big Bang episode where I can't remember which one of them fell in love with Siri and went to go and visit her in this big computer room, and it was great. I can't remember which one of the four of them it was, but it was very funny because he loved her voice and she could answer anything, and he asked her all kinds of fantastic questions, and it was like, oh my God. I want to meet you.
And have you seen Her, the movie Her?
No. What is it?
It's like a movie-length version of that. So if you like that, you'd probably like Her.
This guy falls in love with his computer program, and she falls in love with him. And it's a really cool movie, and it makes you think about deeper issues and sort of ethics, I guess, regarding AI.
Okay, someone's saying goodbye. Well, goodbye, Peeragogy Project. Is that Charlotte?
Bye.
I guess if you close it, it may close the whole Hangout. So.
No. What? No. I was just kind of noodling around to see. Cheryl, I think one of the problems that you had trouble finding us was that you're not connected to the Peeragogy Project. I think you have to follow.
Oh.
Yeah, so I put the link up in the...
Word. Oh, I had another comment for you, getting way back to when the first thing you said was like, like a lot of time goes with your kids. So like, I would imagine that like peeragogy for kids or with kids could be kind of interesting. And I put a link in the chat about play, and like there's a chapter on play, but I don't feel that chapter is very satisfactory. I think it could get much bigger and much more in depth, and much more peeragogical. So like, I don't know, various people around here have kids, so like.
It's interesting because I've got twins and they're almost 3. They'll be 3 in April, and it's very interesting watching them learn from each other versus watching a singleton, sort of parallel play with another child. And they teach each other things. One will figure something out and then immediately go show his brother, or he'll be watching, and then now they're, it's like they're learning faster, I think, than singletons would, or I don't know, because they're peers. I mean, they're the same age, so they're into the same things. And
that's really cool. Well, so that would be a very amazing case study that you wouldn't even have to leave home, and you probably already know all of the data for up to age 3, but like. Yeah, that's really cool. Peer learning, like with your closest peer. It would be a great title. So consider possibly writing a chapter for the handbook about
Sure.
kids. You might have to ask them or something. Is it okay? Do you mind if I study you? And they would,
Yeah. Can you sign this consent form? Or...
You know, you do it in with finger paints.
Yeah, thumbprint right here. Yeah, and it's interesting because they are peers and they are in developmentally into similar things, but their interests are so different. And you know, one of them is very much more athletic, and one of them is very much more mechanically minded, like me. And so they are teaching each other these things. You know, it's not their primary interest, but they're learning their primary interest plus the secondary interest that their brother has, and yeah, growing, evolving.
Cool.
It's interesting watching them evolve.
Yeah, must be fascinating.
So I was just typing into the chat, I guess, for the permanent record, yeah, that there were all these Minnesota Twins studies. I guess because it was the Twin Cities, they thought it'd be clever to have a Twin
Clever.
studies.
Very
Really,
clever.
I mean, oh my gosh, those guys. Anyway, but I don't know that they ever looked at that kind of stuff. I think they like looked at Twin A and Twin B, like, you know, what happened after 30 years. But I don't know if they looked at like the on the ground, like,
You know,
learning stuff.
I really don't care for Twin A and Twin B. When I was pregnant, I called mine Twin 1 and Twin A because I feel like nobody deserves to be second.
Right.
I'm a Libra. I can't help it.
Nice. That's great.
But yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Oops. Now she's disappeared. Well, that was nice. Thank you for inviting Cheryl.
Yeah, she'll be a great contributor, I think, and you know, she really made an effort to get here. So
It worked out. Well, it's a good sign. You don't have to follow the Peeragogy project to get into Hangout if you know the right magic or whatever. So.
right. I think what people don't, I mean, I don't know what they experience when they just click that link. So my computer may be set up to sort of like and not have the obstacles that other people get when they click the link. I don't know because I'm not them, but
Well, we've gotten past some of the hurdles. Of course, then they change it, and then it all starts becoming really hurdly again.
right.
For a while,
And,
it was really rough. Like, yes, you would click something, and it would be completely different. So it's gotten kind of down to science now, temporary science.
I think it's if you do click the link, and I think you just have to remind them that they should have speakers and a microphone at the very least, which most computers have, but not all. So.
Yeah, then we periodically have had a few things where it was just a bad connection, and there's not much we can do about that, you know. So.
Right. Yeah, like Julia Echevarria.
But that would be a case where if we had a fallback option, like just call this number for free. It's a free number, and we'll wire it in, you know. But we'd have to develop that, so that's a whole other accessibility thing that we have.
Yeah, one of us would have to have a separate computer, audio cable in, and that's certainly possible. But
we'll have to contact the ham radio groups and ask them to explain how they do it.
I'm a ham radio operator, incidentally.
There you go. So you can explain how to set up all kinds of relays. We could broadcast this stuff out by radio. Wouldn't that be awesome? So.
Yeah, my parents are also ham radio operators. They're storm spotters for Skywarn project, and so I grew up going to look for, tornadoes and massive thunder cells when I was little, and got to stay up past my bedtime and drive around and look for, storms.
Nice.
I would definitely have been one of those in another lifetime because storms just totally crank my engine.
Yeah. We get some hellacious thunderstorms here in Austin.
Yeah.
Definitely in East Texas.
Yeah. You just feel part of the earth when there's a storm going on.
Yeah. All those negative ions, they're good for you.
Yeah. That's why showers feel good.
Charlotte, I think I may have mentioned to you a festival that I helped throw several years ago called Learning Man. And it was basically a primitive Skillshare kind of thing. People teaching each other how to make soap and can food and waterproof canvas for yurts and things like that. There was a lot of do-it-yourself solar panel installation, building, and all that kind of stuff. And I just learned recently that they're having a Learning Man in South Africa this year. And I don't know if it had anything to do with the one that we threw. To my knowledge, it was the first one, and we came up with the name, but it could be a completely separate incident, or it could be related, and we're trying to find out.
Either way, it's interesting, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It's kind of rhizomatic.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow. It'd be relative, again, to the Peer Rope folks. I think they also got Peer Rope in South Africa, too. So you can go to South Africa and check out their Learning Man. You know, wow, they do it really different in South Africa. Like,
yeah. They use hemp instead of plastic.
Instead of whatever. I don't know. So, well, I guess it's getting towards the time, so time to get going. But yeah. So yeah, just to be clear, I'll be back in touch with you guys if and when I know what my next job is.
Well, good luck with the search.
Thank you, and thanks a lot for the help. I appreciate the push of support from everyone with the. It's like a kind of tsunami of support.
Keep me in touch about that project. That sounds like something kind of like fun and fascinating and new and different.
Thanks a lot. It is all of those things, and I want to get that word out there. But even more so, I want to make good on like actually doing it. So like, I feel I spent the last 2 years hyping stuff, and now I've got to actually do it so that I get a bit more street cred.
Yeah, I run into that problem a lot.
Charlotte, you're doing a lot. Charlotte doesn't.
But I just sit down and I start knitting, and I can't handle it anymore.
Yeah, because I mean, my God, you organize concerts for the coffee house. You do this. You run IPNI. I don't see how you have the energy to do what you do. So I'm glad you knit, because you make us all cool hats.
That's when I'm knitting, I think about chilling and focusing.
Yeah, it's important. Different people think in different ways. Like sometimes people will come and they'll be very quiet, and then they'll think a lot. And Charlotte.
Like Paula.
Yeah, like Paula. She thinks
every once in a while she drops a zinger.
Yeah, but Charlotte, like Charlotte and me, both like talking. But now we know Charlotte's trick for like thinking. She just knits. So,
yeah, that's my trick.
I need to take
the same when I'm lacing leather. It's that repetitive over and over. I have time to like sink into my thoughts for a while, not to worry about anything else.
Yeah.
It's precious.
Cheryl makes incredible artistic leather work.
Thank you.
Wow.
If it wasn't so much of a pain in the neck, we could all collaborate on an amazing physical object. Like,
yes.
Imagine that. Yeah,
There's one of her.
But you could have parts that were knitted by Charlotte.
Yeah, we could do like everybody contribute a physical thing to it.
Oh, that would be so fun.
Yeah, it'd be like steampunk peeragogy style.
Yeah, assembly line. Send it to Texas.
Send it to the next person. But we found out that shipping to the UK is not exactly that cheap.
Yeah, that was my tuition from the School of Hard Knocks. I had to pay for that one. So like.
I do not expect you to. I didn't expect you to pay the whole thing. I really felt like it was my. I mean, if you want to pay half or something.
No, it's good. It's good. And if you feel like that I said I paid for it, and I don't feel any regret having done that. But I think, yeah, amazing. So just so everyone knows, if you buy something from Amazon in the U.S. and ship it to UK, it's inexpensive. It's like a normal price. But if you buy something from like a private individual, like if I wanted to buy your bag there, Cheryl, and be like, it's a beautiful bag, and you're like, sure, it'll cost you $200. I'm like, great. There's another $60 to ship it.
Whoa.
Crazy. Yeah, it really is. So, so be careful with that.
Yeah, I shipped 3 books and it was $65 or something.
I don't know how they do it on Etsy, but like through Amazon, it's much cheaper. So I'm gonna ask my sister next time I talk to her.
They have people negotiating those shipping contracts all the time.
So, and it's I'm gonna ask Zoe if she can. Maybe she could get us one.
Yeah. I think we could probably fill a container or something, but
you're a guy by Amazon. I think maybe. Yeah. So okay, it's past the hour. So thanks a lot, everyone, for the support again. And Cheryl, nice to meet you. I hope to meet you again someday.
Likewise.
another future hangout, and maybe in a Learning Man festival in some
Yeah.
we could do the first one in Antarctica, perhaps.
Yeah, right. I've always wanted to go there.
Nice, centrally located. Everyone's equally treated. It's all always cold. So. Okay, I think I've pasted most of the chat.
You got it?
I got a couple more about Amazon. It's true.
Okay, I'll kill the. I mean, I'll I'll terminate the session.
Thank you.
Oh.